let's bring in Coach Moser here from South Adams High School, celebrating a hard-fought win against a Woodland team that really kind of took you down to the wire, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me. First off, did I hear you say it's in the same show as Shoveling a Rump, huh? I finally made it. I'm on the show. There we go. Yeah, a much improved Woodland team from the last couple of years. Coach Smith doing things the right way. Great sophomore running back and Fleek, and then Snyder, their quarterback. They ran all over us. I think they have 360 rushing yards against us. We started off kind of hot. We were up 16-2 pretty quick. We were up 14 points at halftime. And then third quarter, we kind of stalled quite a bit. But then the last drive of the game, Mav Somerset kind of put us on his back and put together like a 65-yard drive. We punched it in with a minute left. So our O-line played great. We're starting 3 sophomores on the O-line, but our guys were gritty at the end there when they needed to be, and that's one of the first close game we've had in a while here since Heritage, so it was a big win for us.
It was a pretty balanced night when you look at it from both teams. At almost identical times of possession. They end up having 42 rushing attempts. You alluded to the 300 yards. Owen Warner, 276 yards passing, 3 touchdowns on the night. But here's the stat that caught my eye. Both teams were about 50% on third downs. And the differential was they were 1 for 3 on fourth down. So you stopped them a couple times and got the ball back. And then, of course, you went for it one time and got it. So you can't say enough about your quarterback and his growth through the season. Like I said, he was 19 of 34 for 276 on Friday night.
Man, he's really coming to his own. Owen Warner, a kid that put so much time in the offseason, trains up attraction in the spring and summer. He's a 3-sport athlete. But he's got so much pocket presence, composure. He's a kid that was kind of forced into in the starting role last year, the sophomore, and our starter Aiden Warner went down with a broken foot. This year, though, he's got 1,800 yards already, which is third all-time in South Adams history. He's already second all-time in our history, career passing behind James Arnold. Now he's about 5,000 yards behind James still. But he does things the right way, a coachable kid, and now he's starting to realize that he's a good runner too. So when you put those things together and we can run some of the option stuff we like to do along with our passing game, it makes us a lot more dangerous with our West Coast offense. But I love to sling it around, man. I love to play fast, and we have good athletes out there, and it makes it easier as a pass to lineman. When you can get the ball out quick and do the passing game well, it's so much easier for a lineman to be part of your offense. Like I said, we have 3 sophomore linemen, and that's kind of our weakness right now, which our guys know. So I think when we get the ball out quick, that helps us out a little bit.
Yeah, when you talk about a running back that you guys have, I think he's on his 8th year there. I'm not sure. It's not Somerset Maverick. What a name. I love the name. But he had 26 for 123, couple touchdowns. He's been a phenomenal player for you guys in an offense that doesn't necessarily feature a tailback. And what I mean by that, the traditional I formation, hand it off. But here's a kid that if you can get into space, get the ball to him quickly, he does a lot of great things when he's got the ball in his hands because has a very good vision.
Yeah, absolutely. His brother Christian was the 2019-2020 running back. That's probably why the name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like the Tipmans up here in Fort Wayne.
Right. Exactly. There's a 6th grade one's probably going to be the best one when it comes to
wow.
So we like that name around here in Bern, obviously. It's a household name. But yeah, he's our guy. He makes our motor go both sides of the ball. He's our middle linebacker as well. Second on the team in tackles. I think Friday night he had 123 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Well, there it is right there. But he had a screen pass that he caught and took 65 yards to the house, and then 10 tackles on defense. So he's one of our captains, along with Owen right there. Owen Warner and Brady Beal are 3 captains of our team. But Mav is the guy that makes us tick. He's Michael Moser, the AC coach, said he's the best blitzer he's seen maybe ever. He can time his blitz so well, and it's so hard to pick up from offensive linemen. But he's been huge for us both sides of the ball. And like you said, we're a pass-first team. We like to chuck it around and go fast, but we have to run the ball sometimes. If you're going to win games, you have to be able to run the ball when you need to. If it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, I'm going to run the ball. And Maverick's that guy that's going to make that happen. So he's been huge for us. Like he says, there are 15 touchdowns on the year, 14 rushing touchdowns. Just a guy who does things, again, works his butt off, man. He works so hard and does things the right way. So those 3 guys right there, those are kind of the focal points we have right now, and we go as they go here in the sectional.
Sure. Coach, you've been able to come in and kind of turn this program around and really get South Adams to a point of contention for ACAC titles, sectional titles. You guys went down to state a couple years back, and talk about the building process that you've been able to have at South Adams, and really the support and the kids coming through the team that you have now, where they've come, and really how that will help your program long term at South Adams.
Yeah, we've had a good couple of years, and that's very much in spite of me. Like it's I'm trying to stay out of the way for the most part. But the keys I would say to that, well, first off, we had an obviously very, very talented group in 2020. That senior group with James Arnold, Somerset, and Nick Miller. I think we have 6 of those guys playing college football right now between St. Francis, Marion, and Taylor. But incredible players there. But along with that, incredible families, good parents that would back me up no matter what, and they're always going to just kind of stay out of the way. Let me do my thing, which is awesome from parents. You don't always have that at high schools, I know. And then also we have my entire staff is South Adams grad. South Adams alumni that played either for me or I played for a couple of them even, honestly. But guys who just love South Adams football, love the community, and we have incredible community support. Friday night in Burns, special place to be when the crowd's so loud. Huge student section, great band, and also incredible administration. So kids are bought in right now. Kids are having fun. Winning's fun. Obviously, we've won 3 straight sectionals, but we haven't been in sectional with AC yet. So we know all roads go through Adams Central. Right now, they're probably the favorite in 1A North once again. But again, this is just it's been a fun 8 years, man. And every year it gets more and more fun as I learn things and try to make less mistakes myself, but I still always find a way to get 10 guys on punt team somehow every game, I feel like. But it's just a great coaching staff to be around, great community part of. Like I said, I'm from South Adams. I grew up playing football at South Adams and just I love everything about Starfire football.
Sure. You mentioned it too. All roads have kind of gone through AC for the ACAC title. Woodland has been there for years. This conference, to have 2 years in a row for the Allen County Athletic Conference to be represented by 2 Adams County schools down at the state finals. I mean, talk about this conference, the style of football that is played on Friday nights, and why that is so benefit to go through the conference schedule and help you guys in the postseason runs.
Yeah, you mentioned right there. We were down the state in 2020, Adams Central last year, and Woodland was down there in 2017. So we have 3 teams that were down the state finals in the last 5 years. So it's a tough conference, and I love it being a 1A school playing against those bigger schools. Heritage and Woodland, 3A schools. Jay County, a 4A school. Adams Central plays like a 4A school. Bluffton's going to be a 3A school soon with their enrollment keeps increasing. It's just fun to be part of. You go through you feel battle tested come sectional, especially when, like I said, we're 1A. Join some of those smaller schools. We've been playing. I mean, my line is small. Like I said, I have 3 sophomores, and all 3 sophomores are under 200 pounds. I think we have 1 lineman right now that's over 200 pounds out of all 5 of our starting linemen. So we've been outmatched, outsized all year long. You get into 1A football and kind of tends to come back, and you see guys more your size. So, and that's I love being a part of the ACAC. And it's got such a rich tradition. Great coaches. I played for Kirk Sorg, who's been with South Adams for 23 years. You look back at Rick Minnick from Adams Central, Bobby Yeager of Heritage, obviously Etzler from Woodland. Some historic coaches. And now we're starting to see that now with guys with longer tenure now, with Colgman back at Heritage, an alumni. They'll be there for a long time. Kunkel's at Bluffton doing great things. Michael back at Adams Central, obviously. So it's kind of fun to start having those rivalries take place and get to know these coaches pretty well. We have a group text that we talk quite a bit about different things. So we have great camaraderie in the ACAC among coaches.
Sure. Go ahead, Shannon.
Yeah. One thing that I think that, as we get into the playoffs here, experience in it is, I think, important, having the team that's been there and learned how to go through and get into the postseason. But how do you handle not just that component, but, a week 9 game that, kids are kind of looking ahead and coaches can peek ahead too, because when the grand scheme of things, it's not that important. Of the importance of the game is still there, but not to the extent that the following week is, especially with who you drew.
Yeah. And I mean, we're not playing for a conference title right now with 2 losses in the conference. It's easy, even as a coach, like you said, to kind of peek forward and say, well, now who we draw on? Are we going to get to round 2 and play Adams Central inevitably? That was going to happen if we can get through Fremont. But this is a big week where we'll focus on us. We got to get better. Obviously, we had a lot of mistakes against Woodland. Our run defense especially has to get better. So it's a week where I think we focus on us. we got to get healed up. We got beat up pretty bad Friday. Our leading tackler Connor Fear has a pretty bad bone bruise in his foot, so we have to get him healed. Clayton Trosh, our starting guard, tore something in his shoulder. Yeah, Luke Bauman, our center, has an ankle injury. So it's a week where we can hopefully get healthy and focus on ourselves and make ourselves better with especially our run defense and taking care of the ball offensively.
And
Coach,
and then go ahead, dude.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that experience too from going to state. Now that how did that run really ultimately help this program long term as far as what you guys the vision that you guys have for this program and what you're able to do year in and year out?
Well, absolutely. And something you don't think about, that year 2021 to state, we got 6 extra weeks of practice for our young guys. They practiced 6 weeks longer than a team that would lose in the first round, for example. So when you get your freshmen and sophomores practicing 6 extra weeks with being coached up, things like that, it's almost half a season. They've had more than other schools who get bounced in the first round. So that was huge. Like I said, we won 3 straight sectionals, so we've gotten more and more practice each year, getting through those first 3 weeks and playing into November. So we take a lot of pride in, hey, we want to win sectionals. Sometimes we want to win trophies, but like I keep saying, it's going to be obviously a test this year. It's a test every year. Last year we knocked off Monroe Central in the Mud Bowl. You probably saw.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're hoping for turf for South Adams. It's in the conversation now. For that Mud Bowl, I think hopefully accelerated that process a little bit. But yeah, we knocked off the number 2 team last year in sectional. We knocked off number 1 Woodland back in 2016. So we don't shy away from great teams. We enjoy the atmosphere. We enjoy the challenge. I love trying to get creative, and I love my deep coordinator hates me, but I love trick plays. I love onside kicks. I love fake punts. I love all different formations. I love taking risks, but I think I played too much Madden growing up.
Well, Coach Fox up here at Columbia City onside kicked it 3 times. Now, he says the third one was not his decision, that the kid kind of took the matters into his own hands. So it sounds like it's a growing trend of a little bit of riverboat gambler in some of the coaches around Northeast Indiana.
We did onside kick on Friday, the second kickoff we scored, went up 8-2 and got the onside kick back, which is huge for momentum. But especially in 1A, when we have a kicker who's good, but we kick off and they get the ball back at the 35, 40-yard line sometimes. Onside kick, if you even don't get it, you're only giving up 10 yards from where it might be anyway. Something else that's kind of random Friday, there were no extra point kicks. Went for 2 every time, both of us, which is kind of strange, unique. But we like I said, I love going for 2. I'm big into analytics. For how dumb I actually am, I love analytics and studying the math part of it. But so I have some different things I've gathered this offseason where if we score first, we're always going to go for 2. And try and get that through a couple of scores, try to get to a 3-score game, 4-score game. So it just depends. But I love going for 2. I love being creative with it. Makes it fun, like I said. It's fun for the kids too.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you jumping on here with us tonight, and good luck this final week of the season, and hopefully you can get some kids healthy, like you said, and then we'll look forward to keeping an eye on you during the playoffs, and who knows, maybe we can get back down there to the burn area for a game in the playoffs this year.
Hey, we'll feed you good if you come down here. Don't you worry. I appreciate all you guys do for sports in foreign area, man. Having me on, it's a big deal for me to be on here with you guys. So really appreciate all you guys do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Coach. Good luck.